Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm filming in a little bit of a new place. This is actually a shared bookshelf that my husband and I both have books on of ours, and then I have my little book cart here which you can see the very top of, but I wanted to change it up, see how it felt filming in a different spot, so let me know what you think. But today's video is going to be all about themed like summer cozy mysteries. So I actually picked out 4 different cozy mysteries and they all have like an ice cream type theme to them. Slightly varying, but all like cold treats that you would enjoy during the summer. I thought this would be kind of a fun thematic video for the summertime, and I'm going to go ahead and review all 4 of the books that I read for this video today. Let me know what your thoughts are, if you have other themes you'd like me to do like a collective video of like this, and let's go and hop into our first one. So our first book is what kind of inspired this video. It's on my personal 2022 TBR, and I've really been wanting to read it for a while, so I'll link the 22 TBR up above if you want to check it out. But it's called A Deadly Inside Scoop by Abby Collette, and it is the first book within the series, and I love the cover for this. It's so vibrant and beautiful, and it just really drew me in, so I've been really wanting to read this. And essentially the premise of this series is that our main character Bronwyn has returned home, and she is wanting to kind of redevelop and reinvent her family's ice cream parlor. Because essentially it's seen better times, and her grandmother has unfortunately passed away, and her grandmother was really the spirit and the creative side behind the ice cream parlor. This has a very heavy family-centric feel to it. There's a lot of family interactions. Her grandfather and her have a really endearing relationship, which I personally like. Her parents are also in the picture, and essentially she reinvents the ice cream parlor to kind of answer the question of how do you get people to come in and buy ice cream year round, because of course it's more of a summer, spring treat that a lot of people enjoy, but how do you get them to come in during winter, right? So she really invents it to be like more of a tourist attraction. She like makes it kind of sound, the way I pictured it at least, was like this very retro style like diner, like the 50s like tiles, and she really makes it into a tourist attraction. She even has like a wall that's actually see-through, so you can like look out and see like the mountains and like the picturesque landscape around the parlor. So she really takes her time and strips the place and makes it her own, reinvents it to really be a tourist attraction. And like her grandmother, she's also very creative with different recipes and like combinations for ice cream, so there's a lot of fun combinations that you read about that will definitely make you hungry. So Bronwyn herself, really delightful character. I very much enjoyed learning about her and her family. However, the mystery itself was a little off for me, and I felt like it was a little bit hard to follow, and it was a little jumbled. Essentially, by the time the reveal happened, I was kind of sitting there like, what? Like, I didn't really, I mean, you kind of had to like really explain it to me, and then I was like, oh, okay, like I guess that makes sense. But it didn't really come together as like cleanly as I would have liked. The mystery, some of the elements were a little bit jumbled. I did enjoy Bronwyn's, her 2 best friends. They're very like different from each other. One's very impulsive, one's very like, I would say like very off in her head, like daydreamer type, and she ends up kind of working at the shop a little bit here and there too, so they have a lot of interactions. So I would say that this cozy mystery overall was like a 3 out of 5 stars for me. I wanted it to be a little, the mystery was where it lacked for me. Like I just didn't feel like it came together as well. There's some elements I can't quite put my finger on, but it felt like something was kind of missing, and like when the reveal was happening, I kind of was like, oh, like it didn't have that like aha moment, you know, when you usually find out who did it and you're like, yes, it makes sense, it makes sense, it comes together, it all like crashes together, and you're like, of course, why didn't I see that? I didn't have that moment at all with this. In fact, I was just like, wait, what? So for me, the mystery was a little bit disappointing. However, the characters, and like the general like setup and setting of the story, and Bronwyn herself were super delightful. So I'm gonna give this series another chance. I know the second book, which I'll pop a picture on the screen, is out, so I want to check that one out. And if that one ends up being like a little confusing and jumbled with the mystery as well, I'll probably end up stopping the series. But I do want to give it another try because I did really enjoy the characters a lot, and the family, and like the setting was just beautiful. So I can't say like I wholeheartedly recommend this book. Stay tuned. I will come back to you guys with a review in the future about the second book, but for now, that one wasn't my favorite. However, we have 3 other ones from this challenge that I did really enjoy overall that I think were stronger stars. So we're going to start with the Hot Fudge Murder by Cynthia Baxter. This one I do have checked out for my library, so please ignore the little sticky covering my library's town. This is part of the Lickety Splits Ice Cream Shop mystery series. This is actually book 2 in the series. My library didn't have the first book in it, and I mistakenly thought this was book 1 in the series, so I just ended up going with it and reading it. You can jump in at any time with this. I had no issue following it whatsoever. So something I was already very excited about when I got this book is that Jen McKinley, who's one of my favorite cozy mystery authors, actually wrote a review. It's the top review on this back page, saying that she really enjoyed the cozy mystery. And I was like, yes, because I love Jen McKinley, so that's a really strong vote of confidence for me there. This was really excellent. I have to say, when I first got this book, it looked, even as far as cozies go, the cover looked a little corny for my taste. I was kind of like, okay, we're gonna see how this goes. Essentially, our main character Kate has just recently opened Lickety Splits Ice Cream Shop. So it's only a few weeks after the grand opening of her shop when she's actually asked to cater for this really big fashion gala that's happening near her town, because this big designer named Omar is coming back home to like his second get away from the city kind of home, because they live in like a small town. And so he's coming back and he's hosting this big gala with like a bunch of his friends and business partners, and he personally loves hot fudge sundaes. That's like his favorite dessert ever. So he wants there to be amazing hot fudge sundaes. So they hire Kate to be one of the caterers for the desserts at the party. So she's really thrilled about this. This is a big opportunity to get her name out there. It's a big catering job in terms of money. She's really excited. So she shows up ready to do her thing. The hot fudge sundaes are going well when all of a sudden tragedy strikes at the party and Omar is found dead. And he's surrounded, keep in mind, by all these people in this gala who are supposedly like his friends, his business partners, you know, people who wouldn't want to hurt him. Like, what are the real motives, you know? And unfortunately, you know, Kate goes back home after this and she's trying to, you know, get her business going the next day, but the town is overrun by paparazzi because Omar is a very renowned fashion designer and everyone's trying to get the scoop on what exactly happened to him. And the paparazzi are just kind of thrashing the town, you know, they're just everywhere. Tourists are being driven away, and a lot of the local businesses, including Kate's ice cream business, are suffering in terms of loss of business because nobody can get past the paparazzi and really enjoy themselves in the town. So Kate takes it upon herself to figure out what exactly is going on and to solve Omar's death. So she invents a lot of clever excuses to kind of go back to the mansion that the party was at by saying she forgot this or she forgot that, and just kind of wheedling her way in. So she is a very proactive sleuth, I would say. I really enjoyed her character. She works with her niece and her niece's boyfriend. They have a very interesting dynamic. I feel like there's a lot of development going on with her niece's character, which is fun. And yeah, I do definitely enjoy this. She also lives with her grandmother, who she calls Grams, which is actually what I called my late grandmother, so that kind of made me smile just seeing that, because I don't know if Grams is the most common name for grandmothers. Let me know if you called yours that. I don't know, but I've never heard it that much like growing up. So this one I gave a good strong like 4 stars. I think it was really enjoyable. I definitely want to read the next one in the book, and maybe if I really enjoy the series I'll go back and like purchase the first book in the series just so I can read it. Okay, so this next one, this is the one out of all the books that I'm talking about today that was my favorite. So this one's less traditional than the other ones in terms of ice cream, but it's still like a frozen dessert that I think would be very good during the summer, so I'm including it. And that is Homicide in Halo Halo. And this book was so good. So I've returned this book to the library already. I will have a picture on the screen here. And this book is the second one in the Tita Rosie's mystery series by Mia P. Manansala. And this book is excellent. I loved Arsenic and Adobo. That was actually also on my 2022 TBR list, and that was a 5-star read for me. So I had very high expectations going into this, and it made me a little nervous because I was hoping I wouldn't be let down. I wasn't. This, excellent. Absolutely excellent. So essentially the premise for this is, and this is the second book in the series, you can jump into it here, but I would recommend reading Arsenic and Adobo if you can, because that book is also amazing. So if you like mysteries, I'm sure you would love it. But Homicide in Halo Halo is just, It's excellent. If you do not know, Halo Halo is like a Filipino like frozen dessert. I'm gonna pop like a definition on screen so you can get a better idea of what it is. I wasn't personally familiar with what it is, but you can see on the cover itself that it kind of looks like, you know, ice cream sorbet, like something of that, you know, summer frozen desserts. And it just sounded delicious the more we kept going. There's lots of amazing food descriptions in the Tita Rossi's Kitchen Mystery series, and essentially this book takes off, you know, just a little whiles after the first book. And our main character Leela, she is, you know, she's trying to work on opening this cafe with her friends. It's called the Bruja Cafe, as in it's taking the Spanish word for witch, bruja, and making it like brew, like you brew coffee or tea. And so they're opening like a cafe, and Leela she is in charge of creating like baked goods and different things like that for the cafe, while one of her other friends is like in charge of the coffee, etc. And they're very excited for this. They're kind of in the middle of like the soft opening during the book, which I really enjoyed learning and reading about the process for that, and how Leela was taking the time to work on developing different recipes and stuff. So the book itself is just a very fun premise. There are lots of talk of like the Halo Halo. It is set during the summertime, so it is a really good summer cozy mystery read. Essentially, Leela, during her teen years, she won like a beauty pageant in the area for teens, and so she's recently been asked to be the judge on this year's panel, essentially, because she's a past winner. So she agrees to it mostly for the publicity that her new restaurant, like cafe, will be getting from her judging it. Even though she doesn't have the fondest memories, like she has a lot of complicated memories with the beauty pageant, things that she disagrees with. They're trying to make the beauty pageant more modern and like not just focused on like the superficial looks, but also on like a person's character. Like they added volunteer work and things. So I kind of appreciated that they were trying to evolve the pageant into something that was more than just your outside beauty, but also your inward beauty. I thought that was a beautiful message. The mystery in this is so compelling. It absolutely caught me off guard. When they revealed who did it, I was sitting there in tears. Like I actually cried during this, which isn't that common for me to cry during a mystery, I'll say. Like I'm not someone who cries too much when I'm reading, especially not during like a mystery novel. That's not typical for me. I had a very emotional response to who did it, and when they were explaining why and like kind of breaking down everything, it was so artfully done, the way that the author like wove the details together and the motivations and just everything that happened. It was really special, like the way it was woven together. Leela and her family, they don't always see eye to eye, you know, they bicker, they fight, but they have a really strong bond. And Tita Rossi has her own restaurant nearby, so there's a lot of talk about, you know, Leela going over there, and just a lot of family meals. A lot of things are done with food in the room, and so you get a lot of interesting descriptions of Filipino food, which I'm not personally super familiar with, so I enjoy that. There's also a really helpful breakdown at the beginning of the book of different Filipino terms, whether it's like terms of endearment that they use throughout the book, or different foods or cuisine, which I really appreciate, again, to have that as kind of a reference when I'm reading, since I'm not as familiar with the terminology. It's just a delightful read. I gave it 5 stars. Like I cannot wait for the 3rd book to come out, which it's coming out this fall, and I can't wait. I'm already so impatiently waiting for this book to come out. I need to like put myself on a hold list at the library already, but I would strongly recommend this if you enjoy like a very family intense cozy mystery. This one, it just does so many things so beautifully. And our last one for today's themed video is Pint of No Return by Dana Mentink, and this was excellent. So this was the first in a series, and this is part of a Shake Shop mystery series. So essentially our main character Trinidad has moved to Upper Sprocket, Oregon, after finding out that her husband is a colossal jerk and scam artist who had multiple wives before her. She had no idea, and he was just scamming, and he's a con artist essentially. So she divorces him, and in the divorce proceeds, she ends up getting a shop front in Upper Sprocket, Oregon. I guess as some kind of like, I don't know, I'm not sure how like divorce works like that, but essentially she ends up with the shop front from the husband, and she decides to go out there and open her dream shop, which is a shake shop. So Trinidad moves out there. She knows nobody out there, so this is a whole new small town for her that she has never even visited before. She knows absolutely nobody out here, and she decides to, you know, open the shake shop and just go for it. So she's opening this shake shop and she's working diligently to make sure she can open it before 4th of July. So again, a perfect like summer cozy mystery. And unfortunately, tragedy strikes. She actually finds him dead in the store, and it's immediately apparent that this is a murder. Like, it's no, you know, this is no accident. There's no way this was done like self-inflicted or anything like that. So it's immediately deemed a murder. There's a lot of drama with the police. However, she does meet some friends along the way, and I think the author did an excellent job of really fleshing out different people in the town. You really get a good sense of who they are. I think she also very tastefully and like tactfully handled making some of the characters like some of the characters have some different mental health problems that they're suffering from, but she doesn't leave the characters as one note. Sometimes it's a pet peeve of mine when authors or anybody treats like health problems as if that's like a character trait. Like they just leave that as like the one that the person's like defining factor in the book, rather than exploring their actual personality instead of just the elements of their illness that maybe affect the plotline. So I really enjoyed the fact that there was like some good representation. It felt very natural. It wasn't like forced or anything, but it was, I thought, very well done. Of course, I'm not a sensitivity reader. I'm not an expert or anything, but I thought it was very well done. I really appreciated the representation, how it was done. And so she makes some friends along the way. She's going about her business, and her grandfather also comes out to visit her at some point, and I love the relationship between her and her grandfather. Absolutely priceless. I personally love cozy mysteries where the protagonist has some kind of relationship with their grandparents. That's always been a trope that's special to me. So really love seeing that. But Trinidad is immediately alarmed because it turns out that her husband's other two ex-wives actually both live in Upper Sprocket as well. They were actually also left different property or businesses as well, like as part of their divorce proceedings. And she ends up actually meeting one of them, Juliet, before the murder happens. And she likes her. You know, they end up actually forming a little bit of a bond over their terrible scam ex-husband that neither of them knew about. You know, like they weren't a part of the scams or anything. They were just both victims of the situation. And they end up actually really liking each other and kind of becoming friends themselves when the murder happens and Juliet is actually accused of the crime. She's thrown in jail, and Trinidad is immediately concerned that her friend is going to be like just kind of, you know, slapped with the crime of this murder, even though she doesn't think Juliet did it. So I really loved the mystery for this. The reveal was very, very well done. I did guess who did it, but it like the way the author sprinkled clues in and everything, I thought it was very well done. I thought the mystery made perfect sense. It came together really well. The reveal was super satisfying, so whether or not you guessed it correctly, like I think you'll be enjoying the reveal a lot. And I'm very excited. So the second book in the series actually just came out in May, so I'm gonna see if I can get my hands on that, because this, for me, I actually did give 5 stars. It was such an enjoyable read. I read it in like a day and a half, just couldn't put it down. It's just such a fun setting. The shake shop was fun. Trinidad herself was a really enjoyable character that was easy to relate to. I really enjoyed hearing about her grandfather and like the friends that she made along the way, their stories that she was learning about. So I'm really excited to see where the series goes. I have not personally read anything by Dana Mentink before, but I'm very excited to see where this progresses, because it was a really enjoyable read, and absolutely you will be so hungry during this. So any of these books definitely were very food worthy. Like I recommend having some ice cream or something cold and creamy on hand while reading these, because I definitely got a bit hungry. All right, so that wraps up the 4 ice cream / like cold treat summer cozy mysteries I read. Let me know. I've never quite done a video like this before, so let me know if you did enjoy this format, and if you did, are there other themes you'd like to see from me? Let me know down below in the comments. Have you guys read any of these? Do you have any other like ice cream or like summery cozies that you would recommend? I always love to hear your thoughts on that. And just again, in short, the top 2 for me were definitely Pint of No Return and Homicide and Halo Halo. Those were my personal 2 favorites, but all of them were definitely good. I would say Hot Fudge Murder was also very good. This was a 4-star read. I would definitely recommend it as well. I plan on reading more. And the other one by Abby Collette, the Deadly Inside Scoop, I do plan on wanting to give the series like one more try to see how the mystery in the second book is. But it just felt a little jumbled for my taste. I just didn't quite, you know, maybe it just wasn't my personal taste in terms of how the mystery was laid out. I didn't quite follow it as well as I would have liked. That could just be, you know, me. But like, let me know if you did read that book. Did you have a hard time with the mystery or any parts of that? Again, let me know your thoughts down below, guys. And don't forget to like and subscribe. I do post new book content every single week, especially in the mystery genre. So if you're a mystery lover like myself, you'll love this channel. And I'll see you guys very soon. Bye!